All right, this is the Gotrax Tour XP electric scooter. Not a how-to video, just some notes. When replacing the tire on the rear wheel, other guides suggested opening up this front panel here, which I did. And then I found out that I did not need to do that. In order to disconnect the motor from the rear wheel, really just give it a little yank and there'll be enough slack to disconnect that right there. So, you really don't need to do that. What needs to come off? Basically, the only thing that really needs to come off is the rear fender with an Allen wrench. There's these two reflector panels. Those need to come off in order to access these bolts here. So once you get the wheel off, getting the old tire off, using some tire irons and getting the new tire on, it was extremely difficult. Very, very, very difficult. You need a lot of patience, a little bit of time, a bunch of tire irons, really, really strong hands, and again, just some patience. I made this little jig here. Just drilled a hole in a 2x4 so that the bolt can go inside. And one of the main reasons I did this was I did not disconnect the rotor. If I had to go back and do it again, I would have undid the rotor. You definitely don't want to bend the rotor, but also to give it a steady surface when you're wrestling with the tire. I heated this tire up. I boiled about 2 gallons of water and poured that into a Home Depot bucket, put the tire in the Home Depot bucket, and I let it soak there for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes. When you take it out, you'll definitely see that it's a little bit more bendy. This is a regular tire. These things are stiff and they are not forgiving. Very, very, very challenging to get on, but finally got it on. It took me about, an hour to get on. Finally got it back on, and some things to note with getting the rear wheel back on is, number one, making sure that the lock washers are on the inside of the frame, not the outside of the frame. That's pretty common sense to most people. I am not a mechanic. I am a hobbyist. If you put them on the outside, the rotor will wear on the frame here. So it kind of acts like a spacer and a washer. So make sure to do that. When making adjustments to the caliper, the rear brake back here, I really don't know if this is a defect or just poor engineering, or I don't know what I'm doing, but typically when I've made adjustments to bicycles in the past to the brake pads, I would generally loosen up these 2 bolts here so that the pads can wiggle back and forth, grab the brake, and then screw it back, and that has centered it in the past. But depending on the position of the this mechanism right here, there is there's really not a lot of room to get the Allen key. And right now there is after the adjustment, but before the adjustment, there was not a lot of room. So that was difficult. As far as tools are concerned, 8mm wrench. I used an 11/16, which fit better than the metric. I don't know if I was supposed to use metric with this or not, but it was pretty much a perfect fit here. I tried the metric and it's either too small or too much wiggle. Phillips head, which I don't have here, and then a 2, 3, 4, 5 millimeter. You know, depending on what you're adjusting on the brakes, there's several different sizes. If you need to take the rotor off, there's a few different screws here. Going to the front of the scooter, something cool I noticed. I used to have this air tag, kind of giving away my security secrets here, but I used to have it under the rear fender with some duct tape. But after I opened this up, I noticed that there's a lot of extra room in there to just stash something if you need to. So I'm definitely going to put the air tag back in there next time. So, and to access that, there's just this panel right here that goes right over. You just got to stuff those wires back in there. So that's basically it. This was definitely a challenge, and I hope this video was helpful. Again, this is not a how-to video. These are just some observations. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I'll do my best to help out. Thank you.